So I'm thinking we'll pull 225 here for a double, and then we're just going to pull singles. After that, I just kind of want to see where the deadlift kind of falls without getting too tired too quickly by just doing a little too much volume. I do obviously want to go back into hitting triples and working up on the triple, but I kind of just want to see where we're sitting at. I want to see, we'll probably for sure pull 365. Depending upon how that feels, maybe we'll go 385. Maybe we'll shoot for a 4 plate. Maybe we'll go 405. But we'll find out. First, we got to get there, right? All right, so moving up to 275 here. Should be a pretty easy pull. Definitely shouldn't be anywhere near, like, per se, heavy yet. All right. So now we should be getting where it should start to feel a little heavy. Getting into 315 here. Nice. All right. Well, 315 felt so good. We're just going to make the jump to 405 and not try to tire ourselves out with the 365 pull. So let's see how this goes. Wow. That felt strong, guys. I like that. Like there's a little sticking point in it, but we kind of drove right through it, it feels. I think that might be the fastest I've probably pulled 405 in a decade. That actually felt good. All right. Now we're set up to go ahead and move into some lat pull downs. We're going to work a bit here on volume, 10, 12 reps. We're just going to start working the weight up. Just looking for really good contractions, real good pump, and as big as a stretch as we can get. This, I wish, was like actually up here is where they would have drilled the last stop. Is one more pin higher. Because I'm like, my arms are like a half inch too long to really get a full stretch while I'm sitting straight up, so I have to lean a little bit back. But it is what it is, right? We make our equipment work for us. So but those feel real good. 100 pounds, nice solid set. So we'll go ahead and move up to 110. But, you know, thinking about the deadlifts right now. So we haven't, I really don't think we've deadlifted in all of August. And I don't think we deadlifted in the last 2 weeks of July for sure. Maybe not even the second week of July. So it's possible I haven't deadlifted in like 7 weeks. Because that was kind of around the time where I went through my last heavy like leg and back day. And then we ended up, deciding, hey, we're going to sell the house. We're going to put it on the market, talk to a realtor, and all that stuff. And I don't think I've done a heavy leg and heavy back day since then until today and day before yesterday. So the fact that my deadlift has actually improved is a little crazy. I don't know if that's got to come down to central nervous system, I guess, not being as fatigued. Because as for physical fatigue and the way I feel just as kind of crappy as I did then as I do now. Ugh. Or maybe the muscles were just that beaten down and my recovery is just that poor that I wasn't recovering enough to be able to, make progress in just such a heavy lift. I just don't know. But, I'm not going to complain one bit about pulling 405 with that type of tempo. Because with that, that I would probably comfortably say my 1RM is probably 420, 425. With the way that felt, I could probably maybe shoot for a 430, 435, but I think I'd only get it to my knees. If not only like halfway to my shin. I don't think I could pull that completely. But another 20 pounds on there, yeah, that was solid. So if I would have went straight for like a 420, 425, that would have definitely pulled for sure. But, we kind of started off the day though with I don't know how heavy we're going to get. I may not be able to get where I was at, but we did, and we pulled it faster. So, you can't completely always underestimate yourself, but if you are underestimating, you can't be afraid to also just give it the beans and shoot for it every so often. I think we'll leave the weight right there for those. If I go any heavier, I'm going to be focusing on just moving the weight and not really focusing on the muscle. So, 130 pounds? Feels good for those. It's not the heaviest we can do, but it's the heaviest that we can do today while keeping them clean and effective. So, I think we'll do one more set, maybe two. The lats still feel a little tender, so probably do just one more set because they already have quite a bit of blood pushed in them as it is now. So, but yeah, if you haven't done an exercise in a while, like say you do an exercise for 4 or 5 months and then you just kind of take it out of your rotation for 4 weeks or something, throw it back in, see where you are strength wise. Apparently it might have improved, and if it does, it means your recovery is probably not good enough, whether it's muscle recovery itself or your central nervous system isn't recovering. So, because both of those play a big factor when you're working above like your 90%. So, when you're at 90% of your 1RM and above, both of those have a huge factor. Plus, like meals and sleep, hydration, you know, all of those factors are going to play in at those really heavy reps. So, but let's knock out a little more of these here. Or I wonder, today is day 3 of taking that GOAT PHB. Maybe that's got something to do with it. Ugh. 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 So that could be a big factor too. I mean, I will say I've been drinking more water for the last 2.5 days. That stuff makes you thirsty. So that could be an added thing there, is my muscles are just a little more hydrated and just a little more ready to rock. So many factors. We're not going to pinpoint it down to one. We're not a scientist and we're not in a lab. So it ain't going to happen. But make sure you are testing those like peak strength levels occasionally, even if you kind of feel not so much that day. Because I'll tell you what, I didn't feel very motivated and very strong coming in today. But the bar speed says different. So with that, let me go ahead and get set up now to do barbell rows. We're going to do them on the Smith bar, and I'll bring you back for those. All right, so now we're going to go ahead and move into doing some bent over Smith bar rows. We kind of got a little stronger than what the dumbbell rack allows us to go to before we stopped. But we'll see where we're at today and just try to get some nice solid reps in here. We're definitely going to go ahead and move it up from there. All right, so and we've got 140 on here. This is equal to what the dumbbells would be. So let's see how this feels. We'll maybe make another jump up from here. Woo! Yeah, I think we'll try another, I don't know. We'll throw 20 more pounds on there. We'll make this 160. All right. Last set on these guys here. So, 160 pounds. I'm going to try to shoot for another set of 5. But I tell you what, I am feeling it. I am feeling super fatigued and very tired. Woo! Not bad. Not bad. Those feel pretty freaking solid, I tell you what. But last exercise we've got up now, shrugs. So those are going to feel tremendously abusive at the moment. My traps are already kind of screaming and on fire. All right, so we're going to go ahead and rip these shrugs off at the same weight, 160 pounds. with the way they feel at the moment, I don't think I gotta really go much heavier than that to effectively target them. Much heavier than I'm just gonna be focusing on like trying to move the weight and not really focusing on locking in on those traps. Holy cow. Those freaking feel brutal now. My goodness. Holy cow. They feel crazy. They are super pumped up. But we'll hit one more set and that'll do it for today. All right. Let's hit this last set, guys. Then we can go get on our cardio walk. Finish up hitting our 10,000 steps for the day. We'll feel pretty accomplished. Ugh. Woo! Man. That feels wild. Back pump today. Top notch. Strength output. Also top notch today. At least feeling pretty good. We'll say that. There are few and far in between these days. So any day it feels like this, I am super stoked. So with that, guys, make sure you're out there working towards your goals, getting your stuff done. And most of all, just don't be a lazy fuck.